What is menstrual cycle? Which hormones regulate the menstrual cycle? The cyclic changes that occurs in the female reproductive system, that is within the ovary and the uterus. Now these cyclic changes which enables the formation of the gamete and also the implantation of the embryo. Now all these changes together, it is called as menstrual cycle. Now this is regulated by hormones which are released by the pituitary gland. The hormones are follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Now these hormones are required for the gametogenesis to take place, formation of the ovum, and also for the development of endometrium within the uterus. Now for the formation of endometrium, two hormones are required. They are called as estrogen and progesterone. Now these hormones would be released by the follicles under the influence of LH. Now they prepare the endometrium to develop and to become more vascular so that it can support the growth of the embryo. Now here we can see the chart. Now these represents the set of events which occurs within the ovary, and this part represents the set of events which occurs within the uterus. Now this cycle is called as uterine cycle and this cycle is called as ovarian cycle. Now within the ovary, under the influence of follicle stimulating hormone, the primordial follicles will start to develop. So among around 10 primordial follicles, so one dominant follicle starts to develop, and the LH, now luteinizing hormone, which is also released by pituitary gland, they also stimulate these follicles to secrete hormones such as estrogen and progesterone. Now estrogen acts upon the endometrium of the uterus and they causes the endometrium to increase in its size and become more vascular. Now this layer is the endometrium. We can see the thickness of the endometrium is increasing. Now on the day 14, where the concentration of LH is more, it is in the peak. This causes ovulation. The follicle ruptures and the oocyte is released. Now this oocyte is called a secondary oocyte, and the follicle turns into corpus luteum. Now this corpus luteum secretes progesterone and estrogen. Both these hormones maintain the endometrium lining. And suppose if there is no fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates and there would be no further release in the hormones estrogen and progesterone. So we can see there is a decline in the concentration of estrogen and progesterone. Now in the absence of these hormones, the endometrium starts to degenerate, which is called as menesis. So the entire phase can be divided into ovarian cycle and uterine cycle. Ovarian cycle includes, that is, pre-ovulatory phase, ovulation and post-ovulatory phase. Now the pre-ovulatory phase is called as follicular phase and post-ovulatory phase is called as luteal phase. In the uterine cycle, phases are divided into menstruation, where the endometrium gets degenerate, and then there is a proliferative phase where the cells in the endometrium starts to divide, increase in its number, the thickness increases, and the secretory phase where the endometrium starts to secrete fluid which helps in nourishing the embryo if implantation occurs.